Hello all, my name is Pavan Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, continuing our playlist on MySQL. Today we are going to see how to create the table and how to insert the values in MySQL. Okay, so if you are visiting my channel for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel and please press the bell notification icon to get all updates related to my YouTube channel. And if you really like this particular video, kindly do hit the like button and do support to my YouTube channel. Okay, so we have already started a playlist on MySQL. So in our previous playlist, we saw the basic commands or the basic queries in MySQL, how to check the databases and how to create the database and how to drop the database. Okay, so today we are going to see how to create the database and how to create the table inside the database and how to insert the values into that particular table. Okay, so before we begin our main topic, so let's recall from the beginning, so whatever we have discussed in our previous playlist on MySQL, so that it will be easy for us to understand the MySQL and we can continue our playlist on MySQL. So what I will do is I will start everything from the beginning so that we can understand in a step-by-step process how to create the database and how to check whether the same database is already present in the system. Okay, so what I will do is first let's begin with how to check the databases present in the system. So for that, what we have to do is we have to use the query show databases. I will select this and I will press Ctrl Enter. So here you can see all the databases which are present in your system. Okay, so now what I will do is I will create the new database. So let's create the new database by using the query create database. I will create the database on employee records. I will use it as employee details. Create database emp underscore details. Okay, so before you run any query, you have to select the entire query and it should end with semicolon, guys, so don't forget that. So now let's press Ctrl Enter. So here you can see that the new database with the name emp underscore details has been created. Okay, so before you create the table inside that database, first you have to use that particular database, guys. So what you have to do is use emp underscore details. Okay, so select this and press enter. So now you are using this particular database by name emp underscore details. Okay, so now let's create the table inside that particular database. So create table by name employee. So inside that table, we'll mention some of the table columns: emp underscore id, employee id, and we'll use employee name, and we'll also use employee salary. Okay, so do you think guys I have missed something here in between all these details? Because it's showing X symbol, so it shows that this query is not correct. So what do you think, guys, what I have missed here? Exactly, I have missed to give the data types. So for employee ID, I will give it as integer, and for employee name, which is in string, I will give it as varchar. So in MySQL we basically use it as varchar, guys, whenever you are using string. Okay, and for employee salary, I will give it as again I will give it as int. Okay, So here you can see like employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Okay, here also I will make it as int only. Okay, so that it will be easy for us to understand. Okay, so now what I will do is like I will give the semicolon at the end, and I will select this, and I will run this particular query. Okay, so we have created the table by name emp, and inside that table we have given the columns like employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Okay, so now what we have to do is like we have to select, we have to check whether that particular table is present or not in that particular database. So what I will do is like select star from emp. Okay, so now you can check whether the created columns has been present or not in that particular table. So here you can see like 3 columns: employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Okay, so now what I will do is like I will try to insert some values in these columns. Okay, so insert into emp. I will mention the name of the columns which I have already mentioned there, emp salary. Okay, so now I am going to insert the values. So employee ID I will give it as 10, and employee name I will give it as Pavan, and employee salary I will mention it as 2500. Okay, I will mention it as 2500. Okay, now let's close this, and now let's press semicolon, and now select this entire query, and now let's try to run this particular line. Okay, so now let's check whether all the values has been inserted into those particular columns. Okay, so now you can see like employee ID is mentioned it as 10, and employee name as Pavan, and employee salary is mentioned as 2500 or 2500. Okay, so now what I will do is like I will try to insert some more values into that particular table. Okay, so here I will mention it as 12, and instead of Pavan I will mention it as some other name. I will make it as Manoj. Okay, and here I will make it as 3500. So now let's select this particular entire query. Now let's press Ctrl Enter, and now let's check again the same procedure. Now let's check whether all the details has been present in that particular table and those respective columns. So now you can see like there is one more row has been added with the employee ID as 12, and employee name as Manoj, and employee salary as 3500. So this is how you create the table, and this is how you can insert the values into those particular table. So we have seen how to check the databases and how to create the database. So once we create the database, we have to use that particular database, then only we can create the table into that particular database. So once we create the table, we have to mention the particular columns, which are the columns we want in that particular table. So once we create the table, we insert those values, we insert the particular values into those tables. Then we can check whether those values are present or not in those tables, in those particular columns. Okay, so finally now let's try to drop the table. So suppose if you want to delete that particular table, means what you have to do is like delete table or drop table space the name of the table. Okay, so press semicolon and you can press Ctrl Enter. So the particular table has been removed from that particular database. And if you want to remove that particular database, or if you want to delete that particular database, means use drop space database name emp underscore details. Okay, so I will select this and let's press Ctrl Enter. Okay, so now if you check whether that particular database is present or not, show databases, and select that particular query and press Ctrl Enter. So now that particular database emp underscore details has been removed from your system. Okay, so that's all about this particular video, guys. I hope you like this particular video. Please do subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. See you one and all. Thank you. Bye bye.